Texting 8675309. Someday I'm going to marry that girl. One of the great mysteries of American of music history. Whose number was that, boys and girls? I challenge anyone to find out who that girl was, or is, if she's still with us on this earth. But segment 2, IDD, for those who know, I don't disagree, for those of you who are rising this morning on a Thursday. Segment 2, Major League Baseball update, and there is one, because your Boston Red Sox, boys and girls, got up off the mat after getting pasted 9-3, a bum blasting, if you will, in baseball terms, or in my terms, but that in baseball, that kind of constitutes a bum blasting. But the Red Sox got up, didn't bother asking for lube, and responded on the road against the best team in the National League right now, the Atlanta Braves. And because Tom and I hung out last night, we were talking about them briefly because we were watching the Knicks game. Tom had said, hey, look, hey. I said, we'll see what happens tonight. At the time, they're up 3-2. Well, the Red Sox closed the door last night. They won 5-2 to get a split in Atlanta. That I was hoping for one. They got it. They got it in convincing fashion. They're pitching 5-2. Their pitching didn't show up in game 1, but it did in game 2. This kid Bello went 6 innings, struck out 5, 6 hits, 2 earned runs through 100 pitches. Jansen became the 7th. This kid, what is his name again? I'm sorry. I'm going to say Kenley Jansen became the 7th pitcher in Major League history with 400 saves last night. So I guess, barring injury, okay, the Red Sox, at least for this year, have a closer. Well, that's one thing off the list they needed. He shut the door on a very good Atlanta team, and Boston won 5-2. To split that series. That's very impressive. Very, very impressive. Especially given what happened to them in game 1 when Atlanta hit them in the mouth. So what we have learned, at least to this point, boys and girls, is that the Boston Red Sox can take a punch. That's not bad. I didn't know if they could. The litmus test, of course, will be Tampa Bay, because that's everybody's litmus test right now. But the Red Sox come out of that 22-16. As we sit here early in the morning on Thursday, May the 11th. They are in 3rd place again, trailing Tampa by 7, Baltimore by 2.5. 2.5, yeah. Baltimore's 24-13. Tampa, of course, league leading 29-9. Toronto 21-16. Yankees 21-17. This is a division, boys and girls. I'll tell you right now. They're not just doing this. They're doing this in what is a historically very good division. So I got to tip my cap to them. And at least through 38 games, they look like a contender. Okay, now they're not doing so well against the elite, but nobody does well against the elite. There's only 9 teams that have beaten Tampa Bay all season. So, but they will meet again with them at some point, and we'll see where they are then. But at least for now, the Red Sox look good. They don't look average. They don't look solid. They look good. And we'll see, we're going to follow this. Again, July 4th to me, if you're a Boston Red Sox fan, July 4th is the first real marker. Where are they? You look up on July 4th from your barbecue and your, Jaws and everything else that's going on. And you check in on the, as they call the local 9, and see, all right, where are they right now? That's when everybody kind of looks up in Boston and says, all right, where are the Red Sox right now? Because nothing's going on. Unless the Celtics are in the finals, it's the Red Sox town for a couple of months. So we're going to have a reason to follow them for the next 6 weeks. I'm excited about that because, and again, it's never the guys in the locker room. It's what's in the locker room, and that has to do with the front office. But they have some pitching. It's not enough yet. They're still going to have to make a move or two there. They've got a good lineup. They've got a closer. So they're going to be worthy of my time, at least for the foreseeable future. We'll see what happens. Because they're not going to nosedive, because that could happen starting this weekend. Who knows? But Alex Cora is a hell of a manager. He's won a World Series in this town as a manager. And there's something to be said for that. When you have a good manager, you're generally competitive. So we'll see what they do. But they've earned the right to take up some airtime here. And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the fans up there because this is a surprise. No one thought they'd be in this spot. no one that's followed this team thought they'd be anywhere near competitive, given what they've lost. But they quietly brought in this kid Jansen, who's not a kid, he's 35, but they have a closer. Chris Sale, knock on the bar, the wood part of the bar, is healthy, and he's ascending. We'll see. I think he's gonna pitch this weekend in Boston, I believe. I forget who's coming into town here. Let me check the schedule real quick. St. Louis, who they're at home. Yep. Paxton goes tonight or tomorrow night. They have a break. Sale will go on Saturday. Clubber on Sunday night, ESPN. So there'll be the game on ESPN Sunday night. So Paxton, Sale, and Clubber against St. Louis. St. Louis right now is not the St. Louis you and I know. They are struggling. They are 13-25. I believe they are in the cellar or near the cellar. They're the people under the stairs in the National League Central. Yes, they are in last place. They have Cincinnati is in fourth. They are in fifth. Pittsburgh continues to lead that division at 21-17. Milwaukee 20-17. They've come back to the pack. But this is not normal for one of the greatest franchises in the history of the sport. They have the St. Louis Cardinals. They're an 11-time World Series champion. I think that's the second most to the Yankees. The Red Sox have 9. So we're not used to seeing this from St. Louis, and let's hope that they don't pick this weekend at historic Fenway Park to get out of their slump. Boston must take 2 out of 3, at least. They should sweep them, but 2 out of 3 I'd live with. But we'll see what their pitching does. But if they sweep this series, they set themselves up pretty good here for the next month. And we'll see what happens. But let's not trying to get ahead of ourselves here. Let's focus on this 3-game set and see what they do. Because if they get swept or lose 2 out of 3, I'm not going to bother with this crap. But I mean, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and see if this is the team they should beat. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to follow them. We will talk about them on Monday and see what happens. They've earned the right to get some airtime on IDD, and I'd like to keep it that way. But I'm going to take it one series at a time with them because I think with them you kind of have to. Okay? Because no one that follows this sport or gets paid to follow this sport had them doing anything this year. And the ones that said anything was like, look, if they make the playoffs, it's a successful year. So no one's even expecting that. So, but right now, if the season ended, they'd be in. So let's see what they do this weekend. Let's see how the pitch. Let's see if Chris Sale's had 2 good starts in a row. You know the old saying, 1's a fluke, 2's a trend, 3's a problem. He's had 2. Let's see what he does. Because I think if you're following this team, the question is, all right, where is Chris Sale right now? Is he ascending? Right now he's ascending. Let's see if hopefully he continues to take a step forward, not 2 steps back this weekend. His last game, I believe he fanned 10, and he let up, I think, the only 2 or 1 earned run. So let's see if he continues on that trend. Let's see I don't know. Again, the Red Sox pitching staff is what I don't. Usually, I know who these guys are. I don't know who these guys are. I don't know who Bello was last night, but he pitched great. You know, they you know, with the Paxton, never heard of him. Clubber, I've seen him. He has not been good. So starting with Paxton tomorrow night, we know about Sale, and then this Clubber, who I've seen so far is not so good. So we'll see what happens. But this is a team coming in that's not playing well. This is a team that if they keep up this could be sellers at the trade deadline. I don't know what's on their roster. I'm sure if Tom were awake, he could tell you. But it's going to be interesting to see what the next 96 hours look like up on Yawkey Way there. So we're going to be watching from afar because they may be the only thing we have to talk about come tomorrow. But I'm interested. I'm curious, and I'm happy for the guys in that locker room and for the manager, who I've always liked. So we'll see if the Red Sox can continue this upward trend and start to. They're 2.5 games behind Baltimore for second place in the AL East. I never thought I'd say that about these two teams right now, but here we are. So, but again, the Blue Jays and the Yankees aren't going away either. So this division is going to be a rock fight. I call it the Donneybrook division for a reason. And when the worst team in your division would be first place in almost any other division, that being the Yankees at 21-17, I don't know too many times in the history of this sport a fan base could look at their division and say, "Oh my God, look at this division." I mean, so that's going to be interesting to watch. And the Red Sox are right in the middle of it, literally right in the middle of it. So, Boston Red Sox fans, cautious optimism going forward, but cautious optimism. And hopefully their front office is out looking at teams like St. Louis and other teams that might be folding, or might be buyers, or rather sellers at the trade deadline for what you can get off of their pitching staff to boost through this pitching staff. So we'll see. We will see. But they should take at least 2 out of 3 this weekend. A sweep it should also be expected. But if they drop 2 out of 3, or God forbid get swept, no bueno. They've earned the right to have a bit of an expectation right now because of the way they've played. Okay, so this team should not come in here and take 2 out of 3 from them or sweep them. They should not. Okay, so we'll see what happens. But that's going to be our segment for today. It's going to be brief. Someone has to go to work. But we will return tomorrow night, where I pray that I'm wearing this cap. And if I'm not, you know what happened. So you'll know what happens anyway. I have predicted their demise, even though I originally had Boston in 6 or 7. I hope that I'm wrong about tonight's prediction. I would be happy to be wrong about tonight's prediction. So, in closing, Dad, happy birthday. My father, who died on March 10th, 2006, today is his birthday. He would be 80 years old today. So to you, Coach, Dad, the man I love to argue with, 80. Still loved, still missed, still admired. See you guys tomorrow night.